important reminder. All information and ideas are for informational purposes only and are in no way intended as medical advice or as a substitute for medical counseling. Earthshift Products, Dr. Robert Cassar, all of their partners, affiliates, and subsidiaries will not be held accountable for the use or misuse of the information presented therein. This information is not intended as medical advice. The authors, publishers, and speakers of this work are not medical doctors and do not recommend the use of mineral-deficient foods, drugs, or medicines to achieve beauty and to alleviate health challenges. Because there is always some risk involved, all persons involved with the development and distribution of this information are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences of any kind resulting from the use or misuse of any suggestions or procedures described on our website or Earthshift Live radio talk show or therein.
Okay? What we have on Earthshift is we have a variety of information that we just get off the internet. I'm not making this up because then again I get in trouble. I'm a student just like you are. Yeah, I've got a doctor's degree, big deal. I've seen about 200,000 patient office visits with people. 200,000, I can't even imagine that myself. And all I know is that you can't help anyone at all. All you can do is have the tools so people can help themselves. And it has to be reasonable and logical so you can say why you're doing it. If not, it's just a Beverly Hills diet. You jump over this side of the fence and you jump over on this side of the fence until you find out that everything you've done is because you're researching, because you found out the last thing you did wasn't so. So let's have everybody have a couple pieces this big if you'd like. And if you eat this much in the morning, you want to really remember this is to open up and feed. This is brain food. You know that you can feed your body, right? You can feed your mind. This is what this is going to do. Why? Because it has a monooxidase amine inhibitor. Okay? Monoamine oxidase, MAO. And there's very few things that have it. One of the things that has it is this stuff right here is very special. Vegetarians here? How many vegetarians? Okay, and if you're a vegetarian, most likely you are B deficient because you got your B vitamins from meat. Okay? And if you really see how our bodies aren't really just one section. Remember, you have glands, you have nerves, you have organs, you have tissues that regenerate, cells. Every 12 months to 18 months, if you're healthy, every cell in your body is remade. So then why do we age? What's wrong? Does it have to do with we lose our conductivity? I'm going to show you in a little while what this little light does when we give it conductivity versus not having conductivity. So this is food for the brain. Now it's not just chocolate, because chocolate by itself actually tastes really bitter. And what kind of chocolate? And most of the chocolate that you'll see in the stores is hybridized. I don't care. There's a couple of guys, I won't name their names, they're Mr. Chocolate. They've been selling hybridized chocolate, and they feel pretty stupid now because they didn't know. How would they know? They're just salespeople. But the people that sold it to them said it was heirloom. And the only way you can is to have people like in Ecuador, like we have, to go down there and check, because you can't tell looking at one bean to the other. You can't tell. The only way you can really tell is that hybridized beans give you about 52, 53, 54% fat when you squeeze them, because that's what they're made for. They're made to produce more oil. And the real heirloom ones only have about 40%. So that's not really good for business. Again, how do you spell business? It's got a sin in the middle, right? If you're a good business person, aren't you a good sinner? Not telling a lot of people the truth, maybe, or where you get things, or all these other things that make it so you could have a business. Because if you tell the truth, then what happens? There is no business, is there? Unless you're doing a service. But most things that are sold are, you know, the whole system's made the way it is. We have to pay rent, we have to all these things, so no one can really do what we really need to do. The store we have here is an internet store. It's got 3 of what we call the 3 E's. And the 3 E's make it so it's got to be easy. Everything that we're going to show you here is super easy. All you have to go ahead and do is see some truth in this and follow the rules. No GMO. Okay, it's pretty simple. Then you say, well, how do I know what GMO is? How about there's nothing that we have here that's GMO? Remember, and we want to make this efficient. This has got to be better than what you're doing now. Faster, quicker, and smarter. Okay? 3, and it's got to be cheaper than what you're doing, and or it's got to be at least almost as much as you're paying for right now things. So it can't be more expensive. Easy, economical, and efficient. This is Arriba Nacional chocolate. It has a variety of different cold processed herbs. Anybody ever heard of Mucuna? Do you know what Mucuna does? No. Mucuna has what's called levodopa in it. You know what that is? Why do people do cocaine or do different types of things? It's because they get the L-dopa, whoa! They like that feeling of the rush. This is the chemical, okay? Or this is the precursor of what these glands need to be able to function. When you're happy, remember I said, healthy, wealthy, happy, and what happens? You get wise. So if you want to get happy, what do you have to do? You make sure that you put in, so if you put Mucuna in your body, if you don't put it with an MAO, it doesn't go to your brain, it goes into your body. If you want to go to your brain, you have to mix it with something that has an MAO in it. And there's very few things that have monoamine oxidase inhibitors. Okay? So what we have is in this chocolate, we have tribulus. You know what that is? You ever heard of all the sexual stimulants? Tribulus? Tribulus is what feeds your glands, your gonads. It feeds your glands certain types of saponins. And saponins are different types of things. Once your glands dry out, you dry out. Again, why do we age? Because we lose our power. And part of why we age is because we're not replenishing back what this machine needs. It's not a body, it's a machine. And once we see it's a machine like the car, you change your oil in your car, you put good fuel in your car, you do whatever you need to take to keep it. If not, your vehicle falls apart. And this is what's happened to most of us here, including myself. So we put cold processed herbs in here. Ashwagandha. Okay? These feed the glands. Valerian. These are certain things that are called also adaptogens. And or you've heard of a lot of people, herbs. Some people smoke herb, some people eat herbs, some people grow herbs. And what are herbs? These are sort of what we call the glandular medicines. So we want to put these in foods, and there's certain things we mix them with. So let's hand this around here now. Now I made this a little sweet because depending on if you have a sweet tooth. And I'm trying to see if there's any flavor at all from the herbs, because those herbs taste terrible. Absolutely terrible. Have you ever tasted tribulus? Have you ever tasted bacopa? The worst tasting stuff there is on this table right here. I know you've played around with turmeric. Have you ever seen this color turmeric before? This is a cold processed turmeric. This isn't culinary turmeric. You've heard of what does turmeric do? It cleans the glands, it cleans the brains. Okay? As above, so below. If your brain's dirty, what happens? So below is dirty. So try to get a couple of big scoops. You can go back and get a couple different, you can just take that around if you want. Even if people want to, you can put it in the cups, or you can either do it with your fingers or whatever way you like to. Yeah, because you may want to, otherwise you get stuff on your, and they're going to go like this all over Robin's. Let's start out with some questions and answers first.
What did you sweeten yours with?
Well, there's been a lot of bad rap about agave because there's a lot of business out there. And if your agave's brown, that's not real. We know that. And I don't want to get in trouble, because I got in trouble before talking about this. You ever heard of high fructose corn syrup? Okay, you ever Google high fructose corn syrup / mercury poisoning? So if you go to the store and 75% of everything in the store has high fructose corn syrup in it, what are you going to eat if it has mercury in it? If you go to the store and 75% of the things in the store are genetically modified, what are you going to eat? You go to the store and 75% of the things in the store aren't in the right containers, what are you going to eat? So when you really find out about a lot of the things that are in the store, and it's, remember, you go to different stores, they're not health food stores, they're healthier foods. They're much better than the traditional ways. And once you see, this has probably, in that small amount, 32 ounces of coconut oil. I eat one of these big gallons myself a month of coconut oil. Your body is a machine. It needs oil. It takes 10 pounds of raw oil, good oil, just to rebuild your liver in 2 months. Did you know that? 10 pounds. So all this fat-free diet is not foolish. It's completely, I was going to say asinine. It's backwards. Totally backwards. Now, we know that trans fatty acids aren't good for you. We know that put this over here. We know that certain oils aren't good for you. Why would coconut oil be better? Do you know that if you're going to have virgin olive oil, that those olives are picked green? It's not good. It's very hard to find olive oil that's matured before you get it. The only ones that get that are the ones that usually own the company, because you got to pick them one at a time. So a lot of the olive oil that we get is not as good as you think it is because it's demineralized, it's picked green. Avocados, would you eat a banana that's green? Would you eat an avocado that's green? Until it becomes ripe, it has not the fat, and it's not part of what you really think it is. Remember, anything that you put in your body has to figure out how to process the stuff. So if it's got chemicals in it, if it's genetically modified, if it's got plastic inside, any type of synthetics, usually it gets stuck in the body. It doesn't know what to do with it. It can't break it down. So this is most of the problems that we have, is to get a clean food supply, one that hasn't been perverted, genetically modified, one that hasn't, and the next best thing is hybridized. Genetically modified is the worst because it's sterile. Hybridized just means it's been stretched out to make money, okay, bigger. And heirloom means that it's probably as close to nature as we know without any scientist ever done anything to its original form. Now, the coconut oil is special because it has lauric acid. This is the reason why I shave with it. Okay? I put it on my skin every day. I probably eat in the morning 2 big tablespoons heaping in my tea. And we have a variety of teas. Yerba mate. Does anybody drink coffee here? Okay. If you drink a cup of coffee, how many glasses of water does it take to be able to neutralize the acid in 1 cup of coffee? It takes about 30 glasses. 30 glasses of water. Does anybody drink 30 glasses in a day? Okay. And that's just about 7.5 pH.